Imagine this. You wake up one morning, the sun is just beginning to rise, casting a warm glow through your window. You stretch, yawn, and prepare to start your day, but something feels off. There's an eerie stillness in the air, a sense of foreboding that you can't quite shake. Suddenly, the ground shakes beneath your feet. It's not just a minor tremor. It's a violent, earth-shattering quake that sends you scrambling for cover. The walls of your home tremble, and you hear the distant sound of buildings collapsing. A distant rumble grows into a deafening roar. You rush to the window and see a massive plume of smoke and ash rising into the sky. It's a volcanic eruption, but not just any eruption. This is something far more catastrophic. The sky turns a terrifying shade of blood red. The sun, once bright and welcoming, is now obscured by a thick, dark cloud. The air is filled with the acrid smell of sulfur, and you can feel the heat of the lava even from miles away. This, my friends, is not a movie. This is a real-life scenario that scientists have warned us about for years. It's the eruption of a supervolcano, an event so powerful that it could change the course of human history. This is what could happen if the supervolcanoes we know about decided to erupt at the same time. We're talking about volcanoes so big, so powerful that their eruptions would make anything we've seen before look like a picnic. Imagine the force of 1,000 nuclear bombs going off simultaneously. The explosion would be heard around the world and the effects would be felt for years to come. The ash cloud alone would be enough to block out the sun, plunging the planet into a volcanic winter. Forget Pompeii, this is global. The entire world would be affected. From the smallest village to the largest city, no one would be safe from the devastating impact of a supervolcano eruption. Ash and toxic gas would fill the atmosphere, blocking out the sun and plunging the world into darkness. The temperature would drop dramatically, leading to a new ice age. Crops would fail, and food shortages would become a global crisis. Temperatures would plummet, crops would fail, and civilization as we know it would crumble. The infrastructure we rely on would be destroyed, and the world would be thrown into chaos. It would be a fight for survival on a scale we've never seen before. Sounds scary, right? It is. But it's also a wake-up call. We need to be prepared for the worst-case scenario. We need to understand the risks and know how to mitigate them. This is not just about surviving. It's about thriving in the face of adversity. But don't panic. That's what this essay is all about, surviving the unsurvivable. We're going to explore the challenges, the dangers, and most importantly, the ways we can adapt and overcome. We'll look at the science behind supervolcanoes, the history of past eruptions, and the strategies we can use to protect ourselves and our communities. We're going to explore the challenges, the dangers, and most importantly, the ways we can adapt and overcome. We'll delve into the science of supervolcanoes, understanding what makes them so powerful and unpredictable. We'll also look at the history of past eruptions, learning from the mistakes and successes of those who came before us. We've faced challenges before, and we've always found a way through. From natural disasters to man-made crises, humanity has a remarkable ability to adapt and survive. We'll draw on these experiences to develop a comprehensive survival plan for a supervolcano eruption. This is about being prepared, about understanding the risks and knowing how to mitigate them. We'll discuss the importance of having a survival kit, knowing the evacuation routes and staying informed about the latest developments. We'll also look at the role of government and community organizations in disaster preparedness and response. It's about facing the unknown with courage, resilience, and a whole lot of ingenuity. We'll explore creative solutions for surviving in a post-eruption world, from alternative food sources to innovative shelter designs. We'll also look at the psychological aspects of survival, understanding how to stay mentally strong in the face of overwhelming adversity. It's about surviving the apocalypse and rebuilding a better world from the ashes. We'll discuss the long-term recovery process, from rebuilding infrastructure to restoring the environment. We'll also look at the opportunities for creating a more sustainable and resilient society, learning from the lessons of the past to build a better future. Let's be clear. The immediate aftermath of a supervolcano eruption would be pure chaos. Imagine the ground beneath your feet trembling violently, the sky darkening with ash, and the air filled with the deafening roar of the earth splitting apart. The sheer power of such an event is almost beyond comprehension. We're talking earthquakes, tsunamis, pyroclastic flows, think rivers of molten rock and ash moving at hundreds of miles per hour. These natural disasters would strike with little warning, leaving destruction in their wake. Buildings would crumble, roads would be torn apart, and entire communities would be swallowed by the earth. Not exactly a walk in the park. The immediate impact would be catastrophic, but the long-term effects would be even more devastating. The infrastructure we rely on daily would be obliterated, making rescue and recovery efforts nearly impossible. The real killer, though, is the ash. Billions of tons of it would blanket the globe, choking the air, poisoning water supplies and bringing transportation to a grinding halt. Imagine trying to breathe in an environment where every breath you take is filled with fine, abrasive particles. The ash would infiltrate homes, hospitals and shelters, making it difficult to find a safe haven. The sun would be blotted out, temperatures would plummet, and we'd be plunged into a volcanic winter that could last for decades. This prolonged period of darkness and cold would disrupt ecosystems, leading to the extinction of many plant and animal species. The lack of sunlight would hinder photosynthesis, causing a collapse in the food chain. Crops would fail, leading to widespread famine. The agricultural industry would be decimated, and food shortages would become the norm. People would be forced to scavenge for whatever they could find, and the competition for resources would be fierce. Clean water would become scarce, leading to dehydration and disease. With water sources contaminated by ash, finding potable water would be a daily struggle. The spread of waterborne diseases would be rampant, further exacerbating the crisis. Communication networks would collapse, leaving people isolated and vulnerable. In a world where information is crucial for survival, the inability to communicate would lead to chaos and confusion. Families would be separated, and coordinating relief efforts would be a monumental challenge. It would be a fight for survival unlike anything humanity has ever seen. Communities would need to band together, pooling resources and skills to navigate this new, harsh reality. The social fabric of society would be tested, and only through cooperation and resilience could we hope to endure such an apocalyptic scenario. So, how do you survive in a world where the air is toxic, the sun is gone, and the ground is covered in volcanic ash? The very environment that once nurtured life has turned hostile, and every breath you take could be your last. The sky, once blue and full of promise, is now a dark, smoky expanse, raining down ash and despair. The ground, once fertile and green, is now a barren wasteland covered in a thick layer of volcanic ash that chokes the life out of everything it touches. The answer lies beneath our feet, underground shelters. These shelters are not just a refuge, they are a lifeline, a beacon of hope in a world gone mad. Imagine descending into the earth, leaving the chaos and destruction behind, and entering a sanctuary where you can breathe clean air and drink pure water. It's like stepping into another world, a world where you can survive and even thrive despite the horrors above. Think of it like this. If the surface of the earth is a raging inferno, going underground is like seeking refuge in a cool, dark cave. The temperature drops, the air becomes still, and the noise of the outside world fades away. It's a place where you can find peace and safety, a place where you can regroup and plan your next move. The underground is not just a shelter, it's a fortress, a stronghold against the elements and the dangers that lurk above. A well-stocked underground shelter can provide protection from the elements, a source of clean air and water, and a safe haven from the dangers of the surface world. Imagine having everything you need to survive right at your fingertips. Food, water, medical supplies, and even entertainment to keep your spirits up. It's not just about surviving, it's about living, about maintaining a sense of normalcy in a world that has lost its way. Now, I'm not talking about building some fancy underground mansion. You don't need luxury, you need practicality. You need a place that is functional, a place that can withstand the harsh conditions above and provide you with the essentials you need to survive. It's about making the most of what you have and using your resources wisely. We're talking about practicality and functionality here. Your shelter should be simple yet sturdy, designed to keep you safe and comfortable. It should be deep enough to provide insulation from the extreme temperatures above, and equipped with air filtration systems to remove toxic gases. It's about creating a space that is both livable and secure, a place where you can weather the storm and come out stronger on the other side. A simple, sturdy structure, deep enough to provide insulation from the extreme temperatures, and equipped with air filtration systems to remove toxic gases. These systems are crucial, as they ensure that the air you breathe is clean and safe. Without them, your shelter would be just as dangerous as the world above. It's about creating a balance, a harmony between safety and comfort, between survival and living. Remember, your shelter doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be functional. It's about making the most of what you have and using your resources wisely. It's about being resourceful and creative, about finding solutions to problems and making the best of a bad situation. It's about survival, pure and simple. Focus on the essentials, a secure entrance, space for your adequate, and the ability to seal it tight to keep the bad stuff out. Your shelter is your lifeline, your sanctuary, your ticket to survival. It's about creating a space where you can live, where you can thrive, where you can find hope in a world that has lost its way. It's about survival, yes, but it's also about living, about finding a way to make it through the darkness and into the light. You can't survive on hope alone. In a world without supermarkets, knowing how to find and preserve food is the difference between life and death. Forget about takeout, we're going back to basics. First up, stockpiling. Before disaster strikes, it's crucial to build up a supply of non-perishable food items. Canned goods, rice, beans, dried pasta, anything that can last for months or even years. Think long-term sustainability. Next, learn to grow your own food. Underground greenhouses, hydroponics, even simple window boxes can provide a vital source of fresh fruits and vegetables. Remember, variety is key. Finally, don't underestimate the power of foraging. Learn to identify edible plants and insects in your area. Remember, what seems unappetizing now could be a lifesaver in a post